Hey everyone, Steve from Backcountry Gallery here, and this time I want to share a little cold weather shooting tip that I accidentally discovered last week while shooting snowy owls, or I guess trying to shoot snowy owls. Now, before we go on, we're going to talk about heat distortion in this video, and if you aren't already familiar with exactly what that is and how it works, you need to stop the video and check out my long lens heat distortion video first. I'll put a link to it on the card above and below this video in the description area. So a quick backstory first, because I think when you see what happened to me, you'll be able to better recognize this problem if it happens to you. So my wife and I were up north trying to add a few more snowy owls to our portfolios. The weather was brisk, like single-digit brisk, and we were in our warm vehicle as we searched for the owls. When we'd find one, we'd get out and walk over to the owl and get into photographic range. So far so good. However, as we were shooting, we noticed the images were all soft. I was using a Z9 and a 600 f4E. She was using a Canon R5 and a 600 f4EF. Same result with both. And the softness looked a lot like heat distortion, but we were nowhere near a heat source, and it was overcast, so there was no active warming of the ground by the sun. After seeing this a few more times and wrestling with the possible causes, it occurred to me that maybe it was the lens hood. I got to thinking that maybe the warm lens was subtly heating the air directly in front of the front element area there, and that slightly warmer air was mixing with the cooler air coming in from the front. Of course, this was easy enough to check, right? We simply removed the lens hoods. Instantly, our images went from mush to tack sharp. However, I like to test things like this thoroughly and see if it's repeatable under more controlled conditions. Thankfully, a few days after we came home, the temps dropped significantly in our area, and I was able to test this at 1 degree Fahrenheit in the backyard. I tested this with all three of our systems and 600mm lenses to make sure that it wasn't, somehow gear related. All the gear was inside our home and at about maybe 70 degrees in temperature, just prior to going out. In each and every case, Nikon, Canon, and Sony, the shots with the hood on were soft, and the ones without it were sharp. It was consistent and repeatable. I did each test twice, and the results were the same each time and with each system. Hooded shots were soft, and the non-hooded shots were nice and sharp. I also thought that maybe it was that huge lens hood causing the problem, and that this was only a problem for big glass. So I tested the 200 to 600 Sony with its relatively smaller hood, and guess what? Same problem. So even if you're not using big glass, it looks like this can turn into an issue, although that issue may vary by the size and shape of your lens hood. I can't test them all. I also tried this test with the Z9 and 600mm the next day in warmer temps. This time it was 27 degrees Fahrenheit, and I was thinking that maybe the smaller difference between the warm gear and the cool temps would make a difference, but you know what? I saw the same softness. So what's the bottom line here then? If you're shooting in cold weather and taking warm gear out to shoot, give it 10 or 15 minutes to cool down. A lot of times, if I'm hiking, by the time I find a subject, it's at least been that long anyway. Now, if you gotta shoot like right now, do so without the lens hood extended until that gear cools off and starts to equalize with the temps outside. Finally, I know that this may not be news to anyone but me, and the truth is I don't do much cold weather shooting, and when I do, it's usually hiking and not driving and finding subjects like that. Still, it seems to me that popping off the lens hood helps if the gear is warm and the air is cold, and I hope maybe this advice helps you too. If you enjoy learning tips and tricks like this, almost everything I know is in my educational materials, so make sure you stop by the site and check them out. Also, make sure you stop by the site and sign up for my free email newsletter so you never miss one of these videos, articles that I publish, ebooks that I publish, video workshops. I have all sorts of stuff. Any announcements go in that newsletter. It's free. Sign up today. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and please remember to like, subscribe, and get notified. Once again, thanks for watching, and have a great day.